afternoon, and welcome to Audiotree Live. Today is Friday, August 12th, and we're very excited to have with us Helms, Alee. Take it away. You're watching Audiotree Live with Helms, Alee. Sounds huge in here. It sounds great. These amps sound awesome. Thank you guys so much for coming in. I first wanted to say that.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, no problem. A few months ago, I was in Seattle, and I was at this bar. I think it was called like the 9 Pound Hammer or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I was there hanging out, and I swore I saw you guys there. I wasn't sure though. Like didn't want to be that guy who was like, "Are you in that band, Helms, Alee?" But I thought you guys were like hanging out around the corner. Is that a place you guys go to often, or is that like?
It's right by our practice space.
Oh, okay, that's probably what it is. Okay, cool. Yeah, that whole area, that like it's like Georgetown or whatever. Yeah, that whole like strip there. There's a lot of little cool places. I didn't even expect like all that stuff. I was on my way to the airport and was like, "Hey, we got some time to kill," which is weird because once I got to the airport, I saw you on the TV, and I was like, I'm like, that was them. There's no way that had to have been it. 'Cause your KEXP, I believe, was on there, which was pretty cool. Yeah, is that like how did?
Airlines, probably.
Yeah, is like how do they put? Is that just like a local thing they do in Seattle?
I have no idea.
They
I
string.
have no
Okay.
idea how that worked out. I think we recorded that probably 2 years before it popped up at the airport, but
They just.
every auntie and uncle that comes into town, you're on the TV.
I've
You're on
never
that
seen
team.
it, and nobody ever. I mean, we weren't told that was going to happen. It's just
Yeah.
friends started mentioning it. By the way, 9 Pound Hammer has the best house-made potato chips. in all of
Really?
the lands.
Oh, that's what I
You ever
should
go
have.
back?
Yeah, I might have to go check that out. Yeah, I saw it. It was a pretty cool place. Like it was like a really old. It wasn't something before that. It looked like an old. Like I don't know if you guys know the history
Yeah,
of it.
I
Like
think that whole spot used to be a giant brewery, if I'm not
Oh,
mistaken.
okay,
That
yeah.
whole strip of industry, and then it's just kind of, yeah.
okay, sweet, awesome, cool. So
Beer.
yeah, beer. So being from Seattle, like the scene out there, is it like quite a bit different when you guys go play other places as far as like the crowds or the type of people? Because Seattle's known for like the heavier type of music. So do you guys get the same response you do traveling as far as you do locally?
If we're lucky enough, I think we're just at the mercy of the nice people that we meet. And
Mhm.
People take us around, and it's kind of always a weird thing. The first time you go to a place and you get introduced to something, and you get an impression, and then
Yeah.
next time you come through, maybe it's a whole different experience. But we've been pretty lucky, I think, with buddies showing us how it is.
Yeah. Well, speaking of that, you're on tour right now. Well, you kind of on tour right now with the Melvins, correct?
Yeah.
How has that been so far? How's
Amazing.
amazing?
Yeah, it's
Any
been great.
crazy stories? Anything crazy? Because they're veterans. They know what they're doing out there, right? They've been around a while. So anything in particular that you guys were learning or anything crazy?
Yeah.
Just, our first, trying to make it to the first show was kind of
Oh,
crazy,
Yeah.
a little bit crazy.
Was it a long drive? Was it storming, or what was the?
Yeah, it was a traffic jam on the
Oh,
way
that's-
to Las Vegas. I don't know what was going on, but it was the worst traffic jam I've ever been in my entire life. 2 hours completely stopped.
That's the
To where we
worst.
had to, the only hope for making the show was cutting off the freeway, taking what turned out to be a dirt road.
20-mile long dirt road.
Yeah, that's right.
Google Maps led us to a dirt road
Yeah.
across the mountains.
Switchbacks. Yeah, and then there was a mudslide, rock slide across the road. And
Wow.
after all this, we were an hour away from the show. We were gonna show up right in time just to load up and play, and
Mhm.
showed up at this rock slide, and we were like, oh, we're screwed. They're turning us around, but no, they led us over, all jumbly style over this crazy rock slide, and made the
So,
show.
I would
You made
say
it?
what we learned from that experience, I was freaking out because I was so excited to get to this tour. I've been anticipating it for months and months,
Mhm.
and I was starting to like lose my cool a little bit about the idea of not making it to the first show on
Yeah.
the Melvins tour. And we showed up, and they were just cool as cucumbers. Hey,
Awesome.
you made it! Glad to see you. And
You're on time.
so calm and cool and friendly. So
Perfect. You got to play. You're on time. No cutting of the set or anything.
no,
Perfect.
Somehow, yeah.
Awesome. Well,
we even
speaking.
had time to slam a beer before we played.
That's
Cool the
even
nerves.
better.
Many,
That's even
many
better.
years.
Well, speaking of that, you guys can roll on that next one whenever you're ready.
All right.
You're watching Audiotree Live with Helms Alee. I was snooping around on the internet, and I think it was something Dana posted. There's a photo of all of you dressed up like witches and warlocks. I think Kurt was with Kurt Ballou. Like he did help record this album, right? Was that the?
Yes.
He recorded it and produced it, yeah.
Okay, was that in Salem? Because like you guys were like all dressed. Was that a photo?
Yeah,
Okay.
yep. When in Rome. I don't know.
Yeah.
That was-
Salem's version of old-timey photos.
Okay, that's what it was. Yeah, because there's a couple of them on there. They just give you a bunch of props. You like could dress up and that type
No, we
of deal.
brought all that shit. We had it.
Yeah. I didn't know if Kurt had that laying around the studio for some
Yeah,
for, all
he
those,
does.
for the tones, that he makes. And how was it working with him? Was it a pretty cool experience or?
So
yeah,
good.
it was great. Yeah. I mean, it was a total blitzkrieg kind of thing. It was, get in, get out, get it done, and they're so professional and organized, and it was all about just working out the songs and performances, and it was really slick. Yeah.
Cool. And because I know he's like kind of known for like that heavier sound, which obviously you guys fit into that realm. And did you guys spend a lot of time on like tones and focusing on that type of area, or were you just like in and out, like you said, just like live doing it quick or?
No, it was. I would say there's lots of work on tones.
Yeah.
Just not like technically. We just got to kind of stand there and play, and he
Yeah.
had lots of tools to play with and try a lot. And you had a lot of fun stuff going on.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
usually have one pedal,
Mhm.
and I used probably like 30 different pedals. I don't even know the names of them anymore. It was in a
Like-
whirlwind of pedals.
Were they all lined up at separate times, or how was it like?
It was all crazy, yeah.
Yeah.
All different times, even like the same part in a song, just
Just different. Because I see sometimes he like bi-amps the bass as well. Did you have like 2 amps, or were you running like DI? Do you remember?
I think I was just my regular old setup.
Cool. Well,
With a million pedals.
yeah. Well, the songs I have heard that have been released sound amazing. So that sounds really
Thank
good.
you.
Yeah. Thanks. You guys can roll on to the next one then whenever you're ready.
Satisfied, ring your mind.
watching Audiotree Live with Helms, Alee. Now, you guys have had some longer drives on this tour and still have some ahead, right? What do you do to keep occupied? Like on the road, like do you switch off driving? Is there any games you play, anything crazy that you guys do?
Lately, we've been listening to, I think it's Dan Carlin's Hardcore History.
Okay, yeah, that's a great
Yeah,
podcast.
and they're like, the episodes are like 4 hours long. It takes a lot of time. It's good. Keeps
That'll-
us occupied.
Listened to some ghost stories the other night. That helped me a lot.
We do that sometimes when we're on tour as well. That ghost stories, my singer loves those. Yeah, they keep you occupied and kind of keep you awake too when you're really tired. Like if you're driving through the night, it does help sometimes.
Yeah.
You're too afraid to fall asleep, so you stay well.
Sunflower seeds.
Yeah, that'll work too. Do you guys ever like while you're on the road or while you're like searching through places, do you ever like seek out specific foods or specific places when you're in areas?
Oh, yeah.
Regional delights, is that what you mean?
Yeah, is that what it?
Regional delights, yeah.
Yeah, is that a
We're,
thing?
we're historically really bad at it.
Yeah.
We're generally, in the South somewhere looking for barbecue and end up
Okay,
at a
yeah.
fast food joint.
Yeah.
just to give up.
Yeah, do you?
But pho around the world is kind of one of the main things that we're always searching out.
Yeah, any luck with any like killer spots lately? Or?
Oh, we had some good stuff yesterday. I thought that was really good.
Yeah.
Wherever the hell that was.
Fargo.
Viet.
Fargo, yes.
Okay.
It was Viet Palace, I think.
Okay.
Right?
Do you guys have like a rating system of like, do you?
For nachos, not
For
for
nachos,
pho.
not for
yeah.
pho, okay.
Pho just kind of is good or bad, I feel like.
Yeah,
It's so personal. It's so different
Mm-hmm.
for everyone, so it's kind of hard. It's a little too intricate.
Yeah.
But nachos are a little bit more broad. It's high school, college, and adult nachos.
Oh, that's the ranking you have? All right. Do you,
Well, those are the different types, and
Okay,
then there's
yeah.
rankings within those
oh,
categories.
like subgenre? Like,
yeah,
okay,
because I
see
love a
what
good
you're-
high school nacho. I'm not afraid of nuclear cheese at all.
That's
But I
awesome.
also like to get real classy with my nachos as well. At home, sometimes I put broccoli on my nachos.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
Extreme.
Never heard of that.
Green nachos.
I'm a grown woman.
That's awesome. Well, you guys can run to that last one whenever you feel comfortable.
All right.
Audiotree Live with Helms, Alee. Thank you guys so much for coming in. Really appreciate it.
Really happy to be here.
Awesome, thank you. Tonight they're playing the Beat Kitchen at 9 p.m. So be sure to check that out. Also, they're on tour with the Melvins, and after that, Russian Circles, right?
Yep.
So be sure to go out and catch them, see them live. Obviously, it sounds great. Their new album, Still Aside, will be out soon via Sargent House, correct?
Yep.
September 2nd.
September 2nd? Okay, perfect. I also wanted to thank the lighting and camera crew, the audio engineers, everyone here at Audiotree that makes this happen.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And if you want to help support us and them, you can download the session when it comes out in a few weeks. Until then, we'll see you guys later.
Thank you.
Cheers, thanks.
Thanks.